Hey, welcome to Charcoal Chats. I'm P. Henry. For the next 15 minutes, I'm going to work in charcoal and talk at the same time. Some of it will be about the drawing, the paper, the marks, what's working and what isn't, and the rest is just whatever's on my mind tonight. There's no script, so let's grab a seat and start with a light sketch. So I start with this big blank piece of paper. What do I do? What do I do? I know I want to do a landscape, so I'm just going to throw in a place for some mountains to go. I'm from central Arizona, where there's lots of mountains all around you. So most of my mountains look like those kind of mountains, I guess, from a distance. It's not very difficult. The willow charcoal is very forgiving. It's easy to erase if you did want to use an eraser. And it's easy to move around. You can get some dark and some light. I just know it can be dusty, and it can almost fall off the paper if your paper doesn't have a good enough tooth to it. This paper here is actually kind of perfect for just sketching with willow. The other types of charcoal you might use would be a compressed charcoal, a stick, and those, once you lay it down, it becomes much harder to lift it back up. It's more of a permanent thing. But the depth of the darks is way more deep. I'm just gonna go around these edges here a little bit. I like some of the corners to have some darker um, sections to it, just to kind of hold the picture in. May not make sense, but there's gonna be some kind of clouds floating up there, and I think back in the distance here, this is going to be a tree line. A lot of drawings just about layers. Nothing's ever set in stone either. You can, totally take this and go a different direction with it. I just want the tops of some trees way back there, sitting on a hillside. And then we have some a little closer, so they'll be a little bit bigger. Makes you not really thinking a whole lot about, oh, look at this leaf and look at that branch. No, just basic shapes of what pine trees might look like. It can be any trees, it doesn't matter at this distance, but they're just upright trees. Alright, think we get a little messy now. Just going to smooth in some of these places, spreading the charcoal out. Just getting some tone on the paper. And you already kind of see those mountains sitting back in the misty distance now. The same with the sky. Just blending these things in. Not quite sure what the clouds are going to look like, but at least now I have a place for them to live. Just try to cover up some of the white on the paper. But not overcommitting. It's kind of like stepping into something new in life. Sometimes you just need to lay down the initial strokes to get you started. You might not know where it leads or how to turn out, but you got to start somewhere. The painting's a lot like that. You might have an idea in mind, a destination. You may get there, you may not. I feel like here I'm just pulling the bottom of these little sections down. It already looks like there's a misty distance between these ridges or tree lines. I haven't really thought about what to do in the foreground, so I'm kind of getting a little anxious about that. What am I going to do with this space down here? it could end just right here. You just be happy with it. Put it up on the wall, up on the refrigerator. It's like mom and dad used to do with your artwork or your report cards. Be proud of what you're doing. So I'm gonna extend these a little bit more because I think they should be taller. Coming down into the mist, maybe they'll show up a little more. But one thing I learned teaching adult equivalency lessons to adult students, obviously, is that their childhood, they didn't have a whole lot of refrigerator art. Maybe their parents were either too busy or perhaps didn't even care. Um, so they never had these experiences of creation and being acknowledged for the creation positively. So sometimes in life we got to do something bold and just throw something new right in the middle of it and shake it up. Like this little tree here. A new standard, something to position yourself by until you get your feet under you. But not having a support system when you're young has tremendous consequences for you when you're older. And it makes everything else more difficult. Harder to get a job, harder to keep a job, harder to stay motivated, harder to consider yourself a real human being. So I've decided here, there's going to be a lake way back in the background here. I planted my trees, and I'm going to fill in some of the distance with the lake. Could be anything in there, depths unknown. In the future, you might go put a boat in there, or some waves, or who knows. But it kind of looks like a body of water back there, doesn't it? And give some more structure to these trees now that they're closer and more well defined in my mind. Nothing too extravagant. Let the viewer do most of the work. You're just kind of setting the stage. I really enjoy this kind of art. It's quick and it's easy. It's expressive. It can be super realistic or it could just be loose like this. I personally like the Impressionist movement myself. And that movement was not defined to any single style, but multiple styles. Some people gave you the impression of color or tone or shape or just mood. Some were very realistic and some were, well, hard to recognize. But I'm not going to do too much more here. Just give a little more solidity to this landscape. I hope you're encouraged to go do some art of yourself. And I hope you can be an encourager to other people as well, to give them support in their journey. They're not always at the finish line, so don't expect masterpieces every time out of people. But recognize them for where they're at. But yes, this is the first time we're doing a charcoal chat, and I'm kind of excited about it. It gives me a reason to sit down and do artwork for 15 minutes and just run my mouth and clear my mind. Which, if you know me, I'm not much of a talker. I'm usually very soft spoken. I have my opinions, and most of the time they stay to myself. But I care about you. I'll put some branches on these trees here and get done. They're like little birch trees, perhaps. But isn't a charcoal great? With a few strokes, you can make something look like something. It's just a bunch of smudges, but hey, there's a tree here with some branches, some, some knotty wood. I think we'll kind of start to finish up here. I might get my razor out and pull some of this off. But yeah, so the start parts could be the tops of the clouds, it could be the bottom of the clouds, it could be the whatever. Sometimes these bands just float across the sky. Yeah, if you ever look at them, they kind of sometimes look like they're just pointing all in the same direction. Alright, here's my new kneadable eraser. Kneaded it up real good. This is the way you clean them too. You just pull them, heat them up, heats them up a little bit, and separates the fibers. And you just go in there and grab something. You can put a point on it. I'm gonna sharpen this up just a touch. But yes, you can draw with the eraser too. A lot of charcoal drawing is lifting as much as it is putting down. It's really easy to make a mess with charcoal. But it makes it fun too. Get your hands dirty. You're closer to your art. You're not separated by a brush or a pen or pencil. I don't know. How's it look? Stop here. A bit more. So like I said, I put my masking tape down to kind of hold the border, keeps everything in there. And plus, if you're going to put it in a frame, it gives the mat some place to lay down without smudging charcoal. There we go. Official P. Henry. Present it to you live. I'm gonna clean up some of its edges so it looks nice and square when I pull the tape off. Let's pull off the edges here. I heard a lot of artists say this is their most favorite part of the project. Yeah, that don't look too bad. Might be good for somebody's den or office. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to wrap this up now. I want you to know that I love you and give me some ideas of what I can do next, or what you would like to see, or what you would like to talk about. And with that, we'll end our first session of Charcoal Chats with P. Henry. Hope you have a wonderful day.